Hey folks, Rabbit. Bags are completely full now. As you can see, it's part 3 of our Black Temple run through solo with my blood decay. I suggest going back to watch part 1 and 2. This will be covering just the last two bosses. It's not really a walkthrough. For those that are new, I'm just covering the Illidari Council and Illidan himself. And as I said in the previous episodes, I am doing this completely blind. Or maybe you should say not completely blind, but mostly blind, because I think I went through Black Temple one other time with a character and I was pretty much carried and I didn't pay much attention to the mechanics and I have a faulty memory anyway, I forget things. So yeah, as you see here where I engaged the Illidari Council first. And going in this completely blind, I had no idea what I was doing. As you see, I'm switching targets a little bit at the beginning, a little bit in a state of confusion because I'm seeing people get healed up here, and I'm seeing myself drop my hit points dropping down quite a bit, particularly for the flame strike and the blizzard that the two casters keep doing. I keep thinking if I could just take this one wizard out, it wouldn't be so bad. But I didn't quite understand the mechanics of this fight, obviously, and I still don't entirely. I imagine back in the day, people probably read guides and whatnot and learned it and know it. And I know some people are out there saying, "Oh, you're such a noob." Yeah, I could have looked up a guide anytime I wanted to. I just chose not to. This is sort of how I challenge myself. Just going into these things blind, seeing as how I'm not really a raider per se, and I just like going to do this sort of stuff. If it's doable by one person, I'd like to try it. That's sort of my motto. So you see here, at some point, I had quite a bit of footage. I had to speed up quite a bit of the Illidari Council. I kept trying to burn her down, but she would get immune. She'd go through these phases where she's basically immune to your damage at certain points, and she was getting healed just like everyone else in the group was. Um, so I eventually catch on to this fact, and it took quite a while to catch on. So maybe I'm a little dense, but I attempt to switch targets a little bit here, a little bit there. But as you see, I just never get her down fully. I keep thinking I could DPS through this somehow and eventually get her down. It wasn't going to happen. So I started switching targets. And this is about the point where you start to see that. But I'm still not getting the fact that I should be moving out of the areas like the Flame Strike and the Blizzard. So once I start determining that, I start moving back every little bit. Like you see here, I'll engage them and kind of move back, engage and move back, and I'm not. I start to regain hit points and health a little bit easier doing that. And finally, I do just say I'm going for the melee guy. I can burn through the heals. He doesn't have a phase like that female caster that I was banging on, smashing down, where he's immune. He was still getting heals, so it was just taking forever. But I think the fight probably would have taken probably 2/3 less time had I just picked him from the get-go and burned him down. I imagine, obviously, if you had a full man team, you could have people spread out, and they would have been busy, occupied with other people. But I did eventually beat it. So to me, this was probably the hardest fight that I had the whole one, even though I didn't die. As you see, just transmog gear, you just get badges, but so nothing interesting for my class since I didn't have Death Knights back in Burning Crusade time, so I don't really get much out of it. But then onwards to Illidan himself. In this one, I found the fight itself to be quite easy, although I did die the first time, and I will show you the footage here from this first attempt. And Illidan himself is super easy. It's the phase where you're fighting the two, like they look like elementals, but they're kind of like green fell elementals or something. Plus standing in that stuff there, that's not good. I think I did sort of stand in it in some spots, but when he goes up into the phase where he's flying around and you're fighting those fell elementals, you kind of have to avoid those things on the ground then too. Now this first time I said, well, I'm going to pull them out of that circle and away from those posts that they're sort of tethered to. And you see here I just get burned down real quick. I obviously pop a lot of cooldowns and try and keep myself alive, but they just burn me down. I figured, well, I could maybe get through one of them. I came close, but no. So I did break down and watch a video, although the video did not describe anything that was really going on for the dynamics of the fight. So when I came back the second time for the second phase, after I burned Illidan down here, that first phase, which again that's like super easy. The the only phase I was worried about are those elemental things. So in the video I watched, I happened to just keep them in the middle in that circle and fought them that way. I still took quite a bit of damage, but I managed to get through. I don't know if there's a thing like if you move them out of that area, something happens. I don't know. I don't know the dynamics, but I know. As you see here, I just stayed in it. I just stayed in it, and I tried my best. And when they shot that kind of a cone before them, I tried to kind of circle and move a little bit away from it. That may have helped a little bit, but I got worn down pretty badly there. But once I took them down, I got out of that green cloud real quickly, and the rest of the fight was from here on. It's just simple. It was actually, to me, this was an easier encounter than, even though I died, it's just an easier encounter than the Illidari Council. That one, you have to burn through those heals, and it's rough. It's really rough. And like I said before in the previous video, I did have a problem with the second phase of that other fight. But go back and watch part 2 for that. But you know, there was a time I died, and but this time around I didn't. So I was pretty happy with myself just getting through this. I know some people say, well, it was soloed back in probably back in the day when it was relevant content, or back in the day when I don't know, like I don't know. I know it's been soloed before, and probably a lot sooner than me having done this. So it's not like some big accomplishment here. So it's not me patting myself on the back. It's not me making a guide. It's me going into this blind and basically overcoming the odds. To me, this was what I like about World of Warcraft and playing these old raids. So to me, this is what I like doing. This is what I do in my spare time. You know what I mean? This is what entertains me. Sitting at the end game material, um, doing a mindless grind for points, or just to get a small tweak in gear, or get tons of money to, get a slightly better gem. To me, that kind of stuff is just pointless. PvP, pointless to me, boring. And, I didn't get the legendary weapons, obviously, that dropped from this guy, as you can see, but I did get some pretty interesting transmog stuff. Unfortunately, I think that was a one-handed mace. I can't read here in my previous screen, but it's a pretty neat looking helmet. I could probably transmog if I want to. So I'll probably keep that around, and maybe to keep the mace just for the heck of it, in case I ever go to a frost spec or something like that. But yeah, I guess I thank you guys for watching this 3-part series. I'm gonna probably try. I don't know which one next. May try Serpent Shrine, the one in Coilfang, that raid. I don't think I can overcome that one. I've tried a few, and the encounters are really almost a little bit too rough for me, but I might be able to make it through that. So I'm going to attempt that maybe next, or maybe another one. We'll see. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time. Matter of signing off. Adios.